Hey baby, hi my darling, hello my love. If you do not know me at all, my name is Sonia and welcome to my channel. So I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope that everything is going well for you and everything. I've kind of been guided to do something specific, so I'm actually going to show you my thoughts. I don't know how this is going to go, but I had a download. I'm just obeying at this point and I'm praying that it goes well. Honey, I don't even do videos like this. Like my hair really is never like this, but this is how you know. I'm going with it. I'm going with it. It's, I remain. I've been on a journey for the last however many years now. One thing I'm learning in myself is how important it is to zoom out of this world that we live in currently. It's so vital and imperative for our well-being that we need to zoom all the way out. And I'm going to explain why in a second, because this is where it leads to my download. Where we're so used to categorizing ourselves into these kind of sections to conform to mankind, we're not able to see ourselves for who we are. We're not able to see ourselves in the way we naturally are gifted, in a sense, because we are trying to conform to a standard that isn't even our own. And it's getting so bad to the point that I'm not going to lie to you, half the time you will think it's actually mental health, because it is. It's your mental state battling what the truth in essence is. But because you've spent so much of your life conforming to a standard, again, that isn't your own, you're lost. Like there's a lot of things going on here. And I truly do believe mental health is a spiritual and physical warfare. Mental health, from my personal experience with serious mental health of mixed anxiety and depression for years of my life, it's a spiritual battle that's happening in the physical ground. Like I said in one of my last videos that I posted, and I specified something that happened where I was spiritually drained because I physically took upon myself to help a friend. I tried to help her in a way so she's able to see herself, like verbatim see herself. What happened is that because I was so spiritually drained and I didn't know how to fill myself up in that regard, my physical body, my flesh, gave me the signaled desire to overeat to compensate for my spiritual lack in what I'm feeling. That's how the human body works. But it signifies it to itself in a way that makes sense. Overeating for me is a form of self-harm, and I've explained this before in one of my videos. I really do believe it's a form of self-harm because we're not able to fill ourselves up spiritually in the way that we need, and we think we need outside comfort to find it. It will never be filled. You'll always be deprived. You'll always be left not great. You'll always be left dissatisfied because what you need is spiritual. This world is very spiritual, and the system don't want you to understand that because it's trying to disconnect you from your source. And I'm going to explain why. Anyway, let's do some schoolwork right now because, honey, I think I'm your teacher for today, okay? I'm your big sister teacher over here, okay? I did some little work myself. Yeah, we got papers. We got paperwork. Look at this. See this? See this piece of paper right here? You see this? Imagine this is God, the divine, infinity. This is the universe. This is everything that encompasses this entire existence. Is this? Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's gorgeous. This is it. This is everything. This is everything and more. This is the light. This is everything and more. Now imagine God, everything that is, brings forth himself into a little mini human. So now what happens is this little human that comes down into the earth instantly, because of society in the way it's structured, has this right in front of it. So can you see? It's already been blocked. Okay? I don't know if you can even really see. It took me a minute to do this. Yes, you got categories. So from the second you are born into this world, you're given a name, you're given your race, you're given a religion, you're given your male or female, your features, where you live, but your parents with their belief systems, you have foundational beliefs, you have all these things, upbringing. You're instantly dissected from the moment you are born into this world. You are dissected. It's like the world is telling you that you've got a bit of cracks. They want to understand you. This is what the world does. The world wants to understand you in systems. This is how they start to understand who you are. Yeah? So can you imagine that? So remember, God, yeah? The infinitive being, that is, brought themselves into the human form in man, and instantly out of the back, it is categorized. Does that make sense? So I hope you're following me here, because I'm trying to make it simple to make this understand. Because even me, I didn't come up with this. I ain't that clever. Actually, I am, but not like this. Do you know what I mean? So this is exactly what the world does to you. The world has to make sense of who you are straight away, based on the way you look, based on the people that have given birth to you, or your mum who gave birth to you, just based from this, right? So imagine this beautiful little soul that is in this little human over here, is growing up, and they're trying to, they're trying to explore. But obviously, you have parents, especially old school parents. Thank God my mom's not one of them. But, they have old school parents out here that try to give the child an environment that maybe they were brought up with and bring it down and pass it down. So what they're unaware of is that they're bringing their own beliefs into the child, that the child end up growing up to trying to fit in a narrative that may not be their own, but it may be of their parents, and they start to condition themselves to what their parents believe is facts. So they begin to get exposed to life. The child goes to school. The child starts to explore. They try to find out the colors, and they just want to understand you. Some kids have natural gifts and they explore it. They're just trying to explore the world through the eyes of being a human. Like, that's why everything's so slow and delicate and beautiful, and we applaud that, because it's such a they're trying to figure out everything. Like, it's just so stunning the way a child is. And they start to see people, like other kids that are exactly like them, that they realize, oh my God, maybe we can connect it, because they're trying to understand. They're trying to understand. Some kids, they gravitate towards you because of the energy exchange here. They understand, oh my God, maybe I like this person. Some kids might just feel a bit isolated because there's a lot to take in, because maybe they don't want to socialize with other kids, and that's also okay. Sometimes, like, every kid is different. Every single human being is different in category. Every single person in this entire universe is different. No two are alike. God don't do things like that. He doesn't replicate. He doesn't duplicate, doesn't replicate. It's always different. That's the power of God. Even sometimes there's kids out there that they start to recognize the fact that they may be slightly different. When I used to work in a nursery, and there was a little child called Ollie. Oh my God, he was actually, there was two kids called Ollie. I remember he knew he was different because he had a massive cyst at his back. It was a huge cyst, but he was a beautiful little boy, such a beautiful little boy, but he knew he was different. So even kids who are months old, like we're talking like what, 6, 7 months, knew that they were different. And he was always isolated. And I'm so, like, even thinking about it now, my heart, oh my God. Like, you have to be very delicate with him. He can feel that he's not like the other kids. He can feel it. My responsibility in my heart was to make sure that he felt that he could bond with other kids. And I made sure that I made him my top priority there. But it's okay, you're okay, and being patient, because your job is to get to a level of understanding that they are okay. Because it's like, it's so weird how instinctive kids already know things. And adults don't like to think that kids are smart. Kids are very smart. Kids are very smart. They just need a bit of structure, not structuring, but they just need a bit of guidance. They just need a bit of guidance. That's all. A lot of people and a lot of parents like to structure their child. That's a very big issue for me. That's why I reference the African household. I can't speak for other households, but I can speak from African households based on what I've witnessed. Not me. I love my mama. My mama didn't do that with me. I ain't gonna lie. Probably this is why I'm so free. Okay? Anyways, yeah, but it took a while to get him to be comfortable, especially with me. Because me, oh my God, you're right. Like, I'm just a happy person, okay? I'm just a happy person out here. But I remember that, and it was such a beautiful experience learning to understand the world through his eyes. And I remember when it's so crazy, because when I think about back then, especially when it came to nappy changing, I hated doing it at first. I avoided doing it for months because I just did not want to do it. But what I realized is nappy changing with kids, it's actually a bonding experience. And I don't even know why it is, because honey, I'm here wiping your ass. And I remember you'd have to really be gentle, because the cyst, when I say it was huge, it was literally the entirety of his back. He was so special. I remember laying him down so gently, and we had our first experience, because I wanted to make sure he was comfortable with me to change his nappy. Obviously, you have the people that do it all the time, but then I wanted to do it one time with him. And this is when around time he was getting more comfortable with me. And I remember him just laying there, and I'm looking at his eyes, and he's like, oh, it was always like smiling when I was like, I'm taking your nappy off now. I'm taking the other one off now. I'm about to lift it up now. And the way it was smiling, like, oh, you be loving on me, innit? You just, and I was 19. I wasn't even like this, but it's just such a beautiful experience. I remember I purposely didn't always sit with him to try and navigate him to the other kids. I sat with the other kids and tried to get him to come to me every single time. I'm always going to try and encourage you. I'm not going to do it for you, but you are going to come to me at some point to socialize, to sing and play. And it got to a point where he crawled to me and we was able to socialize, and he got to a point where he was really comfortable being with the other kids, to the point that he didn't see himself any different. But because this is what takes time with kids, you have to be patient with them, the same we've got patient with ourselves. But half the time we don't do things like that. I don't know why I've gone into this story. I don't know if that serves a purpose, but anyway, my point is, even though he in his little mind could feel like he was different, he realized that his difference didn't make him isolated. His difference makes him perfect, and he's still like the other kids. He's not any different. And I think that's so important and vital for a child's upbringing, which is why I think school is such a beautiful system if it's implemented in the right way. Now, let's go back into this. This is what the world does. And a kid grows up. And what happens when a kid gets to a certain stage, they start to ask questions because they want to really start understanding themselves, which is why they're always asking why. Because in their minds now they're having to understand their race, their heritage, why is their features the way they are, where they come from and where they live, because obviously it's a natural thought process that happens when a child is growing up. Their age, on their birthday, they want to understand the popularity with school kids and friends. And what they start to understand is it gets to a level of perception where the kids can see that other people have different ideas and preferences and personalities, and so they're trying to figure out where they kind of fit in, so to speak. Some people are just themselves, and they're just living and breathing in the confidence and who they are, and that's okay, because depending on the household that they're breathing into, or some of them might be quite structured. This is why the environment in the home is so important, because that's their foundation that they're able to implement into their life. So if they are so used to a structured household, going into school can be actually quite freeing, that they can be quite reckless, or they could end up bringing home to school in the way that they are, so they apply themselves in a way that could be of service to their parents. Again, you see what I'm trying to say? Like, it just depends on the household, depends on how the child is. Every child is different, the way they maneuver themselves. They try to understand themselves, they try to understand, okay, who they are. It could be based on other people's eyes. In my essence, I am a person that, I knew there was something different about me, but I wanted to follow the crowd because I really wanted to be accepted for who I was. And I instantly always, and even though my best friend at the time, I don't know, kids just gravitate towards the right people. And I did have the right people in school, and it was amazing. It was a beautiful experience in primary school. But it got to a point in secondary school where I just lost myself heavily. Things just changed because it was a whole nother system from one school to another. Now, you've got to bear in mind, with the system that we live in, every single square, every single system, every single box, this is what society does to you. Can you see this? It took me a minute to do this. I ain't going to lie to you guys. This is what the world does. This is exactly what the world does. Every single category is placed into smaller categories. It wants you to dissect yourself to the point that you are even dissecting yourself, because the system does it to you. Therefore, you do it to yourself. So you question your race, you question your religion, you question who you are, and you start to try to fit yourself into these boxes because it has to make sense. Because the world has to make sense of you, so they can categorize you into this, into that, into that, into that, into that. Then you end up doing it to yourself. So you end up thinking that you're so flawed in yourself that you end up doing this to you as well. Because that's what the world does to you. So you think you follow the ways of the world. Literally, the world only does this to you because they want to disconnect you from. This is the flawed essence. This is what God doesn't like. This is what the God doesn't want. Doesn't want that at all. When it gets to a point when you're an adult now, and you've dissected yourself so much in comparison, in beliefs, in structures, in routines, in things that doesn't serve you, working in places that doesn't make you happy, doing all these things because you think it's the right thing to do, because you think it's the only way to survive, when really and truly there is another way out of this. The only way in this world, I truly believe, to have true fulfillment in success, deep success, and I'm not talking the superficial success when you work 10-15 years to make something happen, because I'm not gonna lie to you, nothing should ever be that difficult in this life. But because we're accustomed to seeing the struggle stories being the way success needs to be, we're disconnected from ourselves to what success really means, and what is defined by success and accolades and true happiness. Because this is why I go back to Will Smith's interview when he says it gets to a point in life when you reach cliff top that there is no top from there, because you keep getting everything that you desire, that you want. But then where's the true happiness? Because you've got the superficial things, you've got the man-made superficial happiness. But after cliff top, there's only down. With God, there's never a down. But with society and life, there's always a down. There's always to a point where does it, when, just when. So the only way that you're able to get out of this, out of these boxes, is by zooming all the way out. You have to zoom. So right now we're like this. This is also, by the way, like religion. This is, and you got to bear in mind, and I feel like I always bash religion. I don't intend to bash religion. I think for me what it is a lot of, again, I can only speak for the old school sets of people. Everything that looks like this is not of God. It's just not. I'm so sorry, it's not. And I feel like because of religion, the way they structured the Bible in a way, it's like you have to conform yourself to do certain things in a rigid kind of way in order to get through to God, and that is a lie. Everything with God is about relationship. And I think, like, I've seen the beauty behind religion. I've seen it because I have friends that are Muslim. I have friends, or my friends that are Islamic. I have friends that are Christians. And it's that when you have a genuine relationship with God, and you don't conform yourself to the Bible, but you allow the Bible to work with you, and you see your reflection in God in that essence, it can be used in such a beautiful way. That is the beautiful side of religion. That's the beautiful side of relationship. It's not religion, it's relationship. That's why I like the new age side of Christianity. I really do. I mess with it heavy. I love Sarah Jakes. I love her, and I will always watch her because I feel like she defines what relationship is with God. She doesn't do religion, or Stephen Furtick, or even Mike Todd. Like, yeah, I do like Matt Todd. I do like Matt Todd, Pastor Mike Jr. Like, there are good role models out there that represent relationship and not religion, but it's obviously bits and bobs of certain things with certain people anyway. But this is why there's so much beauty. Even when I have my conversations with my friends that are Muslim, and we have these deep discussions, and you can be any religion in the entire world. You can follow any religion, whether it's Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, whether it's Islam, doesn't matter, because no matter what, ultimately your practice might be different because it's tailored for you, but the relationship will always stay the same, because we can connect through God, because God doesn't, like, a godly relationship doesn't dissect you and think that you are separate from each other, because we're always whole, we're not separated, we're all united in that sense. And I think it's just so stunning. But religion, this difference between religion and relationship, such a big difference. And I feel that the new age religion is formed of relationships. I feel like the new age of, how do I say this? I feel like the new age constructs of religion is all about relationship, which I do appreciate. Whereas the old school methods are, you have to do things by this method in order to get to God, and that's a lie. I'm so sorry. I'm not here for it, and I don't stand for it. That's why when I reference to religion, it's that side of things. Oh, you have to tithe to do this and do that and do that to get to God. Oh, you have to do this and do that. Oh, you can't be this, you can't be that. Then you're missing really the beauty in the word. I ain't gonna lie to you, because God speaks through everything and anything to connect to you. He already knows who you are. He already knows how you operate. So he knows exactly how to connect to you, and he'll connect to you in so many different ways. And God speaks through everything. I think the word is stunning, especially if it's objective and not like this. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's written in metaphors. But you have to bear in mind, your reflection should be in the Bible. Your reflection should be in the word. Your reflection is what's shown, not the constructs of it. Ignore the construct and just look at the reflection that it gives you. If you find yourself trying to conform to the word, then you're not looking at it in the right way, personally. God speaks through everything and anything. That's a fact. Connect to God in the most truthfulest way possible that fits you. You have to zoom out from this. I hope you can see this. To go back to this. So zoom out, and this is where you go to this. To get to this is when you've stripped everything of society off of you. This is where you go back to being nothing. This is a nothingness. This is just presence. This is being. This is state of consciousness. This is being in the now. This is back into the God space. This is where you just feel like, I don't know what to do with my life. This is what it is. That's what sometimes it gets to a point in life where you end up in this space because everything is just, it's just not it. Yeah. And what happens is when you get to this space, I don't know if you can see that this, I don't know if it's showing because it is here. Can you see the fainted lines behind the paper? Yeah. This is how you start to understand who you are behind this. This will slowly start to creep out inside of this, where you connect to your soul, you connect to your spirit, you connect to the essence of what's behind you. Because but you see how it's so faint? Only really you can know it and see it. That's how exactly it's meant to be. Because you got to remember, when you come into this world like this is already behind you. So for me, Sonia likes star signs. God has already placed my sun, my moon, my rising, my Venus, my Saturn, my Mercury, my Jupiter, like my Venus. Everything's already categorized. Everything's already been done. He created me specifically in detail, so in detail that it actually looks like this to God. Like, you got to understand that we are made in our own system, and every single human being has their own system behind them, has their own programming, has their own sense of identity in God, because God knows every single detail down to the numbers on your hair, the numbers of strands on your hair, sorry. Like, God knows every single detail, and it's even smaller than this. This is just a rough copy. This is God. Like, this true essence. God is a mathematician. He loves physics. He loves numbers. He does everything with algebra and all that kind of mad stuff. Like, obviously, it's beyond my comprehension. I'm not going to try to conform to that. I don't get it. This is behind. That is behind this. So can you imagine the level of understanding that God has about you? So what happens is, when you start to find yourself and your truth, and your job in this life is to discover you in reverse. You're discovering who you are before you came into this world. That is your job, and that's a lifelong journey. It's not a day, it's not a month, it's not just a year. This is a lifelong journey to understand exactly why God has made you the way you are, the gifts that's inside of you, your talents. You're not dissected and flawed by what society wants to perceive of you, to categorize you. They're trying to rip you away from who you are and categorize into these things so they can understand who you are and they can place you. But what happens is, we tend to try to identify with what they see of us, and then we start to, like, wait, I don't know, like it's like you can't do anything outside of what they put you in, because it doesn't make sense to them. You're not meant to make sense to everyone else. You're not. And that's the key element here. What, I'm not gonna lie to you, I remember when certain celebrities like Lady Gaga came out, or Adele, or give me an artist that's like so individual. Michael Jackson, because I'd be loving on him. The world tries to, and you know, I watched on the video the other day. This girl was saying that, the people that have the most gifts are the ones that face the biggest adversity. But the reason being is because adversity actually is the opposite perspective of adversity. It's opportunity. You need the adversity to create an opportunity for yourself. Everything works in opposites. You see how the world has to try to understand you by dissecting you like this, but in actuality, it's always been this. You have to be different. You can't be following the crowd. You can't be worrying about what people think of you, because you're perceiving yourself from someone else's lens. That means you're taking away your power and giving it to them. And we are the ones that feed the system. So can you imagine, there's millions and millions and millions of people in this entire world that are actually the opposite way of this. And they're actually using their energy to feed the system and allowing the system to control their narrative. That's the whole point of this life. It's like we are born into this world, but we are not of the world. Our flesh is. Our flesh. If you zoom into your pores, you see all these little lines and little things, everything. That's what the universe, that's what the world, not the universe, that's what the world tries to do to you. They try to place you in all little categories. They can make sense of you okay, if they've got the general consensus of what you are, okay, easy, we can play with them, calm, because you are giving it to them. But I feel like the more you get to God and the more you start to root yourself in your truth and understanding of who you are and explore who you are, you become more and more inconspicuous with people. You become more and more unreadable. You become more, you could become more just like, I don't really care what you think kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, if you truly think about it, there are millions of us and we're all so different. There's so many categories in this world. There's so many types of genres of music. There's so many types of foods, of cultures, of religions, of the way people are with style, with fashion, with race, with taste, with jobs, with there's so many different kinds of things that God has breathed himself into. So many. Why do you think that is? Like, really start to think why. This life was never meant to be about separation or segregation or try to see the differences in each other. We're meant to find beauty in all of our differences because we all still are perfect. Can you imagine? We've come into this world whole, but the world wants to make you believe that you are flawed, that you have cracks, that you have I don't know why I feel a bit emotional here. It's okay, it's okay. The world really wants to make you think that you're just not complete. And the problem is, it's not the world now. It gets to a point where it's not even the world anymore. It's you, because the world has done its job. Because now you're taking it upon yourself to keep dissecting yourself into this, thinking that, you know, I mean, you're just a number. You're just expendable. Do you know what I mean? That's what religion does. That's what no, it's not religion does. I mean, that's what the system does to you, because they're not even have to do the job anymore. You're doing it to your damn self. You really are. Where this whole time you've always been whole. You came into this world whole. That means, baby, sweetheart, you are a whole being. You've never been without, ever. But you've convinced yourself that you are incomplete. You've convinced yourself that you have nothing. You've convinced yourself that you're not worthy. You've convinced yourself a truth that is not even yours because of what the world does to you and what they want you to see, to the point that you started seeing it in yourself. Because what happens is, what's inside of you with your thoughts and beliefs, the universe has to mirror it because that's who you are. So what you think is who you are because you act that way. You do it to yourself. You become enslaved to your own hell. You become enslaved to it. And the universe will keep repeating this shit onto you until you're able to get out of a loop. Because the system wants you to be in loops. The system wants you to be confined to a loop because you're really enforcing the propaganda. I don't even know what that word means. Alexa, what does propaganda mean? I don't even know what that word meant, but it made sense. Look at God. Look at me using big words. I've lost my flow now. This is what happens. This is what we're doing. But you guys, we are whole. And I think this is why it's always so. This is why when I say you have to go inward and find yourself, is because you have to understand no one can help you find you. They can help guide you back home to you, but there's only so much someone in the outside can do for you. So even I'll give you an example of something. Please just bear with me because I'm gonna land soon. I feel like I've landed, but I'm now like when the plane lands, that's where I'm at right now. Go with it. Can you imagine also, because you see yourself like this or like this, you think because of this mentality and this perspective, you might, because you're not able to understand your fullness and that you're seeing your cracks and you're seeing the parts of you that are incomplete, you see the parts of you that are kind of void, has a lot of voids. What you do is start to attract people that have these same voids or has parts of you that you can see yourself in. And this is how toxic relationships start to happen. I'm going to give you an example of something, because I'm not going to lie to you, I was getting vexed yesterday. So I was doing my mum's hair, right, and I was watching Caught in the Act Unfaithful. Now, there was a specific episode of this guy. Like, this guy was so good looking. Oh my God. He was 30. Like, he was such a beautiful guy. He has money. He's a good guy. You can see he's a really, really good guy. And honest God, he's so beautiful. And I instantly felt protective of him. I don't even know why, but he's just stunning. Now, he's dating a 23-year-old. Now, I have no judgment here when it comes to, whatever age person you want to date and whatever in your life. However, I do question your mentality as to why this young girl, because at 23 years old, the girl ain't experienced the life that she needs to yet. Because I remember what my mindset was like at 23. The level of stages of life between each other are completely different, because he's ready to settle down, she's basically ready to turn up. Ain't gonna lie. So anyway, but I think something happened where I don't know whether she nearly drowned and then he went and saved her or something like that. And I think in a way he felt kind of like he wanted to protect her, or he felt like he wanted to be that the salvation she needs. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. She wanted to, I think with that whole Captain Save a Ho sort of vibe, he kind of was like that for her. So I think he automatically put himself into that position of, I'm going to protect you, I'm going to provide for you, I'm going to be there for you because of what happened with her. So he ends up putting himself into a position where she can always lean on him. So he was providing for her. He gives her bags all the time. Like, he's got money. Like, he's got pure money. All he wants is her love. He wants to settle down with her. She doesn't want to settle down. She's also a little bit toxic in herself, but I'm not gonna lie to you. He only attracted his own mirror. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. He has a friend who's a musician as well. They've been friends for years or whatever in the industry since they were boys. From back then, he always goes to his mom's house. Like, it's deep. Their brotherhood is like this. Now you got to bear in mind, this guy, his friend, low key caught in. I'm not going to reveal what episode. You just have to find out for yourself. But best believe, at the storyline, the plot twist, his best friend was the one that was sleeping with the guy's girl. Yeah, hella toxic to each other. Now it's so funny because the best friend, was like, this girl is for the streets. But yeah, he's going telling her like, oh, I love you, I want to be with you, but he knows what it is. He knows that it's nothing serious with her. He just wants to get it down. Do you know what I mean? And he's giving her that and she's giving him that. But she has feelings for him more than the guy that's actually doing good by her, because she doesn't, because the good guy is telling her like, he's the good one, he wants stability and all that kind of stuff, but she doesn't want that. She's only going to attract her reflection. So this bad boy over here is more of interest to her because she's also hurt herself and she can see herself more in this guy than with this guy, but she's not leaving this guy, she's fucking with this guy. Long story short, now it gets revealed or whatever, her ego gets in the way and and this guy that wants to be the knight in shining armor, the savior, whatever, is so hurt by it and everything. And but at the end of the day, there's a lesson to be learned here with the fact that you have to be very mindful of the people that you attract. You have to be very mindful of the people that you allow yourself to entertain, because if anything, it just revealed to me more of his mentality by dating someone that young. I'm not even gonna lie to you, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, because there's people that go different ages all the time. It's not an issue. But I do question as to why do you think you can settle down with a 23-year-old girl? 23 when you are 30. Sometimes there are people out there that defies the odds. Don't get it twisted. But for me personally, I don't know about that one. I ain't gonna lie. But that's just a personal preference out here. But like I said, there are some people out there that really had life experience that they can, and there are people out there that can. But in this occasion, you can tell she's not about. She's a yeah, she's just, And the funny thing is, towards the end, when they all got found out, she ended up be hugging up on this best friend guy anyway, and did it to his face, did it to this guy's face, thinking that it's okay and acceptable, and they're all together. But what annoyed me more than anything was 3 months later, this guy out here, rather than learning his lesson, is now dating someone else. I don't think you fully learned your lesson, my guy, because there's no way in hell you would have learned your lesson out here, and in 3 months, I don't know, especially when you're so invested in this one. I don't truly believe you've learnt your lesson. I don't think you've spent enough time with yourself to understand as to why you're making these mistakes. All you are doing is trying to rewrite a story with someone else. That's my personal opinion on that one. And these people out here, well, you damn well know that she's going to get hurt by this other guy because he's not for her like that. She thinks it's a genuine relationship out here. I think she believes that she can change him. The reason why I believe that is because I used to be that girl back in the day. Ain't gonna lie. Don't know why I got into that topic. But anyway, my point is, you start to try and find other people. What happens is you end up retracting people that are similar to you in a way, in a toxic form, but you try to heal them. Again, based on personal experience, that's what I can see. And what happens is you always be left high and dry, because at the end of the day, the guys can smell your vulnerability. They can smell it. They know how to mask their shit. But the girls, it oozes out of them when they're hurt. It oozes out of them when they're vulnerable. It oozes out of them when they're not complete within themselves. It oozes out of them when they're easy to be manipulated. Again, coming from experience. And I was a girl that was constantly manipulated and constantly, because I believed that I was nothing and I got treated as such. I did that to myself, and I can understand that now. Don't get twisted. I'm not saying I deserve half the shit that happened to me. I can take accountability for entertaining it for as long as I have with the people that I dealt with. I'm not even going to lie to that. They could never get into my frequency at this point in time ever again in my life. They couldn't, but back then they could because of who I thought I was back then. You see what I'm saying? It's down to perspective. It's all down to perspective. You have to start looking at yourself as if you are whole. You are not incomplete. You are not cracked. You are not flawed. You are perfect. God sees you like this. God doesn't see you like this. That's the world. God sees you like this because you are him. You are his child. You are his baby. You are his everything. He loves you unconditionally. He wants the best for you. He wants you to thrive. He only sees you as how he sees himself because he sees you as his mirror. I saw a video this morning when it comes to The Lion King, and I know I love this movie so much. I'm going to watch it today because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I remember my friend got me the gift to go to the theater to see The Lion King, and it made me cry so much. It means everything to me. I mean, even I feel like I'm going to cry now. It's so annoying, but there's so much meaning behind this film, and if you really are careful in observing it, you'll start to understand. There's a part where Simba ends up escaping and going to the wild or trying to find themselves, and then the guy was saying that Rafiki was like the prophet essentially in trying to lead him back to himself to find who his father is, and all Simba cared about was finding his father. That's all he cared about. Simba was led to the water to look in the water, and Rafiki said that look at yourself, look at your reflection. The father is in your reflection, but he couldn't see that. All he could see was his own reflection. All he saw was this. Like, what is that? Look deeper, look closer. He's always been inside of you. He's not outside of you. God is everywhere. God is everything all at once. He's the past, the future, and the present, but you will find God only in the present. You will only find him really in the now. When people out there want to say that, for example, they want to justify their behavior with certain things because what happened in the past, do you know what you're actually doing in actual reality, in what you're doing? If something happened to you 15 years ago and you're still trauma bounded to that situation that happened 15 years ago, and you define your actions in the now because of something that happened 15 years ago, what you're actually doing is going back in your mind to 15 years ago and bringing that from your past into the now. So what happened to you 15 years ago is happening to you right now. That's exactly what you're doing. You're giving power to something that happened a long time ago because your body hasn't even learned to heal through it, because you haven't given your body time to find the healing that it needs, because all you're doing is trying to move on from it rather than trying to help yourself with it. So what happens is you get stuck in time. You get stuck in a place that your mind hasn't been able to move past. But what you have to do, my darling, is allow that to happen and heal. You have to learn, let your body speak. Let the rigidness and the parts in your body that stiff, the emotions to speak, to breathe. Give it a voice. Give it a voice. Feel it. Don't be afraid of the emotions. The emotions are powerful. It's the most powerful frequency that we have in this earth is emotions. The emotions are directions. The emotions are words. The emotions is a voice. You need to give it the time of space to do what it needs to do and work through it. But don't bound yourself to what's happened to you in the past. That is a situation. It is not your identity. But what you're doing is identifying with it as if it was you. It's not. It's something that has happened to you. You are beyond that. You are bigger than that. You are this. You are not this. Get it together. You're not this. You're not. So stop labeling yourself as such. I'm not taking away what's happened to you. Never will I do that. But what I will tell you is you were never this to begin with. You thought yourself, you talk to yourself as if you were this. You've never been. You've always been this. You've always been this. It's never stopped. No matter what things come your way, no matter what people say about you, no matter what people think about you or try to put you in, you've never been this. And once you start to understand that this is who you really are and you've always been inside of you, even though we are all different, all tailor-made perfectly to perfection, in great detail, we are all this. We are all this. We are all this. We've always been this. It's never stopped. It's always been. Get it in your mind, babes. You are this. All it is that your appearance puts you into this. But this is behind you. Every single one of us is this. Always. God sees you. You are his reflection. He sees this in you. He sees this in you. This is why it was so important that when you look at the Bible and the way it's written, like, I'm not gonna act like I know everything, because I don't. I'm just here trying to understand it more myself. But one thing that I think I will always take with the Bible and Jesus is that God breathed himself into man to show us the way, not to follow like this, but to find ourselves, because Jesus is just our reflection. Jesus is our reflection. We all see Jesus like this. Society and the world saw him like this. They tried their hardest to do this. And there's a reason why Jesus died, because I'm not going to lie to you. The world will do this to you, but once you die to your flesh, this is what happens. The same way with Jesus. You're not exempt from the same shit that Jesus went through. You are not exempt from it. You're going to have to go through it to really get to you. That's what happened with me. I've had to go through it as well. We all have to. But a lot of us run away from it because we're scared to face ourselves with the truth, because our power, our own power frightens us, bro. And that's the truth. It does frighten us. It's what we have to do to stand in it, because you can't allow the excuses of this. You can't allow it. You can't. And I think one thing I'm also learning is that you have the level of patience you have to have with yourself in order to understand you and rewrite what the world has done to you. So essentially, it's like slowly you're having to break this all down into pieces, into yourself, because your old system is wired in a specific way that you end up having to rewrite completely. So when you're faced with certain things that's happened to you before in a different way, your body will react the same way, but you, because you have a much more understanding of your awareness behind your vessel, you start to study and understand it. Okay, this is what's happening. That's why you have to be slow to react. What is that word in the Bible that says, is it slow to react, slow to speak, slow to speak? So, what's that saying in the Bible? You see what I'm saying though? Like, I don't even know the quote, but I know it's there. See, certain things are written because it can serve you. The Bible can serve you so beautifully if you use it in the right way, but some people like to use it to weaponize it against you, and that's not correct. It's flowing through me at this point, and I can't control it. I'm so sorry, guys. Quick to listen, but slow to speak. Yes. Quick to listen. Listen to yourself. Listen to everyone, because everyone speaks on themselves. You can tell their mentality based on the way they speak and the way they think, the way they act. Everyone tells on themselves. But when it comes to you as a being that really understands who you are and who your creator is and who your essence of being is, you will start to be slow to listen in your slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to speak. Whatever that saying is, in it. Point is, this is who you are. God, the infinitive being, is with you. He's never left, and he will never leave you. This is you. This has always been you. It's never stopped being you. And the funny thing is, the system knows this too, you know. Even though people have these things that they say about Walt Disney, he created a movie that even he been knowing. They all know. They just know how to manipulate it to their advantage to get what they need to get out of it. But regardless, to take away from the fact that the gift of the movie came from a higher source, regardless of the fact. It's such a special movie. It's in your reflection, but not your reflection in terms of physical essence of being. No. The God in you is the true reflection. The reflection not of this, not of that, but this. You're not meant to be understood by everyone. You're not, because you're only meant to be here to really be who you naturally are in what your truth is, even if it's not understood by many, because the right people are going to find you. The right people. And I think the beautiful thing about our differences and in who we are is because we all breathe different essences of God, and it's either way, it's all beautiful. I might not like certain music. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I ain't really a country girl. I ain't really no rock girl. But I like rock in certain aspects. Like, it's so weird. But then some other people will be obsessed with rock and obsessed with country and all those certain things. Like, but that's what life is. Not everyone's gonna like everything you do. And I think we're so set hell bent on trying to make ourselves palatable for everyone. But that's not possible because God isn't even palatable to everyone, and God is God. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all so different, and there's beautiful things about that. The only opinion that matters is the opinion of yourself with all of this behind you. So I love the fact that I'm a Sagittarius. I love the fact that I'm a Leo. I love the fact that I'm a Black woman. I love the fact that I live with my mum. I love the fact that I have the mum that I have. I love everything about my life because I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't put myself here like this. Like, this is what this is what it is. How can I hate on that? But don't get twisted. There are people out there that are not in the privilege of where I am currently. And but the thing is, I think the beautiful thing about your life is that if you're dealt an unfair hand, if you stop associating yourself with the environment that you're in and start to look inward within yourself and start to see the person you are, you'll start to understand the reason why you're here. I think the problem is when you're like, I have one of my beautiful friends, and she's going through a process of evolution that I am witnessing firsthand. And her family are very much stuck in this. Like, it's not, it's just mental, it's just. But she's always been this, and my soul, I knows her, like my soul been knowing her, like from the get-go. And it's beautiful because she's at a stage where she has to break down. She's moving back. She's zooming all the way out, slowly but surely. She's always known that she's this, but she has to get out of this to help her find her in her truth outside of the system that she was placed in. You see what I'm trying to say here? And breaking out of that is probably one of the most hardest things that you can do, because your ego is attached to what the norm is for it. So everything is going to be the opposite. It's going to tell you what you're doing is wrong. It's going to tell you that this is not what you're meant to do. This is unsafe. Because your ego, your body likes to identify with the familiar. But everything with God and everything with self is in the unfamiliar. You have to step backwards, and you got to keep honoring that. You have to honor your truth. And that's exactly what Jesus did. Jesus didn't conform. He honored his truth even in the face of adversity, because that was the opportunity that I was able to do, to die to this old life and come back completely back like this. And to show if he can do it, we can all do it too. Hence why he called us his brothers and sisters. God calls us his children. Jesus calls us his brothers and sisters for a reason. Follow him and you become fishers of men. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? But not follow him as in, like, no. Embody the nature of Christ, meaning embody your truth, because his truth is our truth. It's our truth. I don't know why I say truth like that. I feel like I've low-key made my point, God, because I can't lie. I've been speaking for a minute and now I'm starting to get a little tired. I thought it was going to be 25 minutes long. It's a bit. I hope I got my point across. Even my hair been shrinking. I feel like from the beginning to now, I was like, oh my God. Stop dissecting yourself. Stop it. How are you dissecting something you never created? Do you know how stupid that is? I'm not gonna lie, and I'm sorry if it offends you, but you need to be offended. You're dissecting yourself like you created you. No, you're meant to understand yourself. You're meant to go inward and understand who you are. Who you are is not of the world. Who you are is God. So lovely. We're not separate from God. We are with him all the time. But you have to be slow to understand that. And I'm sorry, but the system wants you to do all of this. With God, it's like this. It's even slower than this. This is with God. Think about it. It takes the earth 365 days to go around the sun. Do you know how slow that is? Do you know how slow that is? But the funny thing is, it looks like bare like this, in the outside, but it's actually very slow and very precise and very orchestrated in a way that's fulfilling its purpose. But it is really quick. The year goes very fast when you deep it, but it's still moving very, very slowly around the sun. That's how we have to be with ourselves. We are our own priority, and that should be the main focus point. Nothing else should ever be. Nothing else should ever be. It should always be you. You are the center. Make that your priority. Even if your opinion is not appealing to the masses, don't give a fuck about it, because I'm not gonna lie to you, their opinion is irrelevant of you. Your opinion, however, is gonna stand. When it comes to parents, I know full well that my job as a parent is not to structure my child. My job is to guide. My mum always calls herself, she's a caretaker to me, and it used to piss me off. But as I've grown up, I understand why she says that, because her job was never to structure me. Her job was always to care. It was always to guide. It was always to nurture. That was her job with me, and she did an amazing job. You know, that's exactly. But I think I'm cleansing all the generational racial things that's in my heritage. And I know my grandma's with me every single minute of the day. She's always with me. My great granddad, my family, the people that's behind me, they're very much seeing everything that I'm seeing. And I know I'm cleansing the root system of what was embedded with my grandma, with my mum. I know I'm cleansing it. So the kids that I bring forth into this world, it's a completely new slate. I know that for a fact, because of how much shit I've had to deal with to get to this point. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that is the whole point of life. You're having to cleanse. You're meant to bring forth babies to do the kingdom work in their own way, and God has given them the gift that will help the kingdom naturally. So some kids are very gifted in doing so many different kinds of talents, and it's so important to allow your kids to explore their gifts and their talents and allow them to be free with it, because that's like God trying to breathe himself through them. Do you know what I mean? That's how God does things in the world, you know? Don't sit on your gifts, don't sit on talents. Move with it. Express it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't think it can't be good enough, because you have no idea what would be worthy, because you're sitting on it. How would the fuck would you know if you're not doing anything with it? God gave it to you for a reason. But best believe God will ignite the gifts in you that is meant to be used. But you have to obey with it and go with it. And that's also the scary part, because the world will be trying to diminish that. I'm sorry, if God wants it to be used, oh honey, nothing that they do will ever stop the flow of God being moved through that gift. I can tell you that for sure. Anyways, this has been more videos. I'm still chatting, but it's okay. I love God, you know. I did be loving on him. I can't like, you gotta bear in mind when I be saying him, don't take it as a him, okay? God is everything. You can't do this with God. No, wait, that's the wrong piece of paper. You can't do this with God. You can't. Because he's this. You can't categorize God. It's not possible. Don't think there's only one way to God. I mean, there's only one way to God, and that's only through your truth. Your absolute truth and authentic energy. Authentic energy. That's the only way to get to God. Your authenticity, truth, alignment with oneself. That is the true way to get to God. And that can be through any religion. That can be through any practice. That can be through anything. As long as it fits who you are. So please, don't think other people ain't going to make it to heaven because they're not following the same practice as you. Because, sweetheart, their practice and your practice are not meant to be the same. There's a reason why you guys are different. Don't be judging people out there thinking that, okay, oh, you got to bring them this way to get to God. No. Hold back now. Relax yourself. No. They're meant to find their own path, and that might be their path. Best believe, though, God is still using them and God is doing it. But what you're doing is what the system does. And you're thinking, let's bring them over here. No. If they're meant to come here, they will. Because God will guide them this way. It's not your job to try and bring them. The fuck out of here. Anyways, I'm gonna stop now because I'm gonna just keep talking. Oh Lord. I look cute though, I ain't gonna lie. I used to think I was so ugly. The fuck out of here, bruv. That was definitely the enemy. You know, the system is the enemy. That's the real enemy right there. That is the real devil. But people think it's the devil with the horns. Oh God, even that. I don't even be like a Santa Claus. Okay, I'm actually gonna go off. Right. I I love you so much. I pray that you got something out of this video. I know it's a bit longer than I said it was going to be, but sorry, not sorry. However, God wanted to come out, it came out. I'm really proud of myself. Because how long it took me to do that? I'm even surprised I woke up and I had this kind of epiphany to even do this. This is how you know God be using me even when I didn't think I'd be used. I love that for me. But anyway, I love you so much. I pray that you're having an amazing day, amazing week, amazing month. And if you're not, that's also okay. Just take the time. It's all right. Just keep trying to get yourself into the present. Zoom out. Zoom out. You will start to realize what you need, what needs to fall off when you do tend to zoom out. And I know that's going to be slightly difficult, but it needs to be done. You need to feel what it feels like to remove itself for you, because it's just your ego trying to attach itself to your identity. Your ego is not your identity. Your ego is of the world. The flesh is of the world. You are whole. You've always been whole. You've never been not whole. That you think that you are. So your brain tells you that you are, because what you're feeding it is also what it tells you. And it becomes a cycle. You are not your mind. You are not your mind. You are the awareness behind the mind. State of being, state of consciousness. You know, we are much more superior than a whole computer system. Way more superior. But we think that the computers outside of us are very, very clever, very, very smart, and they get very, very fast, and they get very, very like high tech. Honey, nothing will ever compete to what we are. Nothing will ever. It will think it thinks it does, but and the people that are doing these things to make you think it is, they're gonna keep trying, but they're never gonna compete, or they don't compare us. It's not possible. But anyway, I'm gonna pray for you when I get off this. I hope that you're good and okay. I hope you're taking a message out of this. I hope I've done some sort of service to you. But if I haven't, well, listen to it again. Because I know God was saying something in this. If you're actually still watching this, that's how you know I must have said something actually. So I'm even going to say that by myself. Anyways, I love you. Have an amazing day. And I will catch you in my next video.